to the BMP Jamison plant in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. This is one of our newer facilities. I think it's been open around 2 years. And today we'd like to spend a little bit of time with you reviewing some of the components, some of the things you got to check for on a Jamison Mark IV bi-parting sliding thermal door. So what we're going to do, we're not really going to talk about the installation because the door's already on the wall. That's not too terribly hard. But what we want to do, we've opened up the control panel box. We want to explain to you a little bit about some of the components, some of the things you're going to need to check. If you can get it on the wall to this point, congratulations, you've done a great job. So after the electrician wires it up, and if it's all good, we're rolling down the road. So what we're going to talk about today is some of the components, some of the things to look for, and I'm really not going to do much more because I'm not that skilled. But we're fortunate enough to have with us today Bruce Newman, who's been with the Jamison Company for how long, Bruce?
24 years.
24 years worth of experience. So he's going to take over. We're going to have a little bit of conversation and see what you think. Okay, Bruce, let's kind of start. Where should we start? The control panel's open?
The control panel is open. You have your high voltage on this side, anywhere between 110 and 575. This side is the control side, which is 24 volts, which runs your travel limit, your sensitive edge in the doors, and other options. Well, this door doesn't have head opening, but it does have locking. It will work on the locking. This is a pull cord switch. It's not normally mounted here.
Yeah, now Bruce, we're in a cold storage facility. Where's that normally mounted?
Normally mounted on the ceiling.
That's what I thought.
So you can drive up from here, pull the switch, drive in.
And there's normally one on the inside too.
Correct. It opens right there.
And this one's on a time delay close, if I'm not mistaken. It's a fairly long delay.
You pull it in and close it.
And that's one of the safety features that we have. We're going to get into that in a minute. But we've got a junction box there. What's the silver junction box for these?
This junction box does several things. The two wires coming here, one is for heat, which is 110 volt. The other is your control circuits for your sensitive edge and your locking. This other junction box is for your safety sight and sound system, which works with the lights. And you heard me move too close to it when it was there. The box up here with the clear lid is a DOE box to control heat, to make sure everything works correctly.
So how does this come? If we hadn't wired it up, the control panel is already mounted on the head, correct?
Correct. And the train and the track. The junction boxes are mounted on the head.
So you got the header, which has everything on it the way it is right now.
Correct.
And then you also are going to have these two leaves in a separate box.
Crates.
I think I've seen it come normally in 2 crates.
One for the head and one for the doors. If it's too big a door, they will put one door in the box. But normally they will put the pairs in a box, so you only have 2 crates to handle.
Okay, so we've mounted it. The electrician has to run these wires.
Well, these wires come attached to the head already.
Okay.
So all they have to do is hook them into the junction boxes on the end of the head, on the doors.
And I'm assuming in the manual it has that, and it's pretty
Correct.
easy.
In the envelope up here, there is a wiring diagram for anything you need to know about wiring it. If it has extra options on it, there's an extra drawing in there for extra options.
Okay, so that's there, that's mounted. We have the chain here. What's the chain do? You were telling me there's an upper and a lower.
The chain moves the doors. If you notice, the right-hand door, the chain lock is raised. On the left-hand door, it's lower. So you can remember left and lower, right and raised. And there is a...
That's how you release it. So that's a release. Now, is there a release on the inside?
Not on the right-hand door. On the left-hand door, there's one back here. It's a D-shaped handle. You just turn it, turns this so that...
And Courtney, before he fully shuts it, There's two dogs up there. What are those two dogs, Bruce? What are they?
These are the pickup links that hook into the chain lock so your door will move with it. And these also release it from it.
So when the door comes, is it perfectly set up at the plant?
No,
to see in the mill?
It's set up in about this location. The chain lock will be over. You will have to come over here, and where it has the green and the black, you have to adjust the travel limit on it.
Now that's like a screwdriver.
Just a flat screwdriver.
And I see the directions are on it. Maybe even I could do it. So you just and a little bit of twist does a lot of work, right?
Well, while we're got it open, the door rolls on a piece of no-lube track. It's a high-density plastic. The leading edge has a ramp on it that brings the door down so it seals on the floor and pushes in a little bit against the gasket, which is behind the door. You have one there. The trailing edge ramp you can't see because it's behind the door itself, but the door, if you watch the door, it drops down on both ends. And the special thing is the trolley wheel at the front end is symmetrical. The one at the back end is asymmetrical. It has the small side out, so it will slip down into the special ramp.
Okay, what about this side?
This side has the same setup. Ramp here, quite far enough to, you can't quite see it. There's a ramp also, that's the same thing, down and in.
Okay, and then you adjust it and then everything's good.
Correct.
Now this door has emergency stops on it. I think you told me that these are the new style.
These are the new style, the under track stop.
So if someone has an old style door, where's the stop going to be, Bruce?
It'll stick out, it'll be in the same location, but it'll stick out farther. And engineering figured out that when it's sticking out farther, it has more tendency to damage the track. Here, I haven't seen any complaints about damage.
How long's this been in effect, Bruce? A couple years?
5 years maybe.
5 years. Okay, so we've got the stops, we've got the door set up. What's this device right here in the middle?
This is an electric eye that will pick up a tow motor or something coming in.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we ship those and we got like a radio control with it, like a TV.
I don't know.
The answer is yes. What we normally ship with it, it looks like a remote. It's similar to my cell phone, something like that, where you can fix it from the ground. So that's how I've seen them. We normally send the bracket too, but be sure to talk to your Jamison guy about the bracket. I don't know if they're standard, but that's the bracket you need so you can get it out, get it away. And with the remote that they send you, you should be able to adjust it.
And they also have one on the back, but you have to make sure it's clear, the field is clear of the racking in the back, because they'll pick that up.
Right, that's one of the harder things, is to get it dialed in so that you don't have a lot of false cycles. I know some of our clients, we've had a problem, and that's the things you've got to do. This is also a new system right here. These two units. What's this, Bruce?
That's Sight and Sound Safety System, 4 S's.
And it's got the lights that go red and green. And as you've heard earlier, we've got a separate control panel, and it's got a buzzer in it. Now this is fairly easy to hook up, isn't it?
Yes, you get a wiring diagram. It's, you just have to hook wires each end.
Now what these do is, I've actually done this. They kind of just screw right in, and they're easy to get in. So that's pretty easy. Then you attach the fixture to the front of the door, and then it's wired over to here, correct?
Correct.
And it then goes right over to
into the junction box.
And then from the junction box down into the control panel. So the things you got to look for when you first set up the door is you got to make sure the tension's right on the chain. What normally should one see on the chain?
Just about like this.
This is set up properly.
Correct.
So this is good.
And if you need to adjust the tension on the chain, there's a nut back here on the back of the idler bracket. You loosen or tighten if you need to.
And again, a little bit does a lot.
Right. And over time, chain will slacken up just from use, so you may have to adjust it tighter.
And the rollers, we don't have any here to look at, but the rollers are different, correct?
Correct.
So when you put the leaves on the door, from what I understand, one of the best ways to do it is to detach a roller and then set it down on it. Am I correct?
Right. Now the rollers for the leading edge, the symmetrical ones, have a dot, an Avery dot on the roller itself and on the top of the carrier, so you know where it goes. The asymmetrical roller goes on the back of the door. If you don't get them right, swap them around, the door goes clunk clunk when it goes over the.
So you'll know that it's wrong.
Yep.
And it's actually, I've done that too, so any fool can do that since I've done it. So we've got the light set up, we got the motion detector dialed in, everything's set to go. What's a little unusual about this door is we've added a light curtain. And Courtney, if you could get over here and take a look at this. This is something new that we're using in some of our high-speed, high-performance doors. And this is a light curtain that has a multitude of eyes that shoot across, and they will detect if someone is in the area. So that's another safety feature that we're talking about offering it now for where you have a lot of cross traffic and the motion detector is picking up way too much cross traffic. The way it's installed is not really the correct way to do it. They've kind of done it just to do it. I would make it sturdier, and I also would put protective bollards in it, and I'd put something here in front of it too. Now, Bruce, these are our new, this is new, right? This
Correct.
Is, what's that?
These are wedges to push the door back against the gaskets on the side. These are an option. These are just no moving parts. The other ones we have is a roller about this round that rolls across the strafing bar here and pushes the door back.
So this is easier, smaller, maybe won't be a trip hazard.
True.
Okay, now Bruce, what's right underneath here? What's that?
This is padlocking for it.
Okay, I'll hold that one, you hold that one.
Slide it up.
Okay.
This is padlocking. Go ahead and pull the cord once. The door opens. Hold it again so it closes. So you got the green light on the safe to go in. Okay. Now this has a magnet on the back, and there's a magnetic switch in here. You go like that. Now pull the cord. It cuts it off so you don't burn the motor up, tear the door apart. Okay. I'm slowly going to pull this away, and you keep pulling the cord. And the magnet also will help keep it attached to the door so it doesn't flop around.
And it won't tear it up.
Won't tear it up.
Now,
the casings that hold the header on from drooping on the floor.
now are the casings standard?
The standard casing is aluminum. You can get either white paint, clad in stainless steel, or stucco, or just anodized gray.
Now in the manual, it tells these are already pre-drilled.
No, these are not pre-drilled. You have to measure. Every other hole in the header is pre-drilled.
It's pre-drilled.
Because every other screw that's not the empty one holds the header, the track to the header.
Okay. So they have a different function.
Right. So you've got extra holes to hold it down there.
Okay.
These sets of edges are pneumatic. If you hit them, it automatically opens so you don't get crushed, you don't damage goods, you don't break the fork truck. Another option with our doors, if you have locking, you'll have a hasp to save or lock in here and keeps people out. But because the way the door is designed, you can always get out because there's a T-handle and the hasp. This will come off with the hasp blade so you can open the door.
So you don't have to get worried about locked in the freezer.
Correct.
Now you also told me that these seals, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Now the gasket, you call them a gasket.
Yes.
Now the gaskets, they have a little bit of play in them.
Yeah, they're held on by number 12 screws, and the hole in the gasket itself is about 5/8, so that you have room to adjust the gasket fit.
So you can make a nice tight seal.
Nice tight seal.
And you could replace them if you have to.
Correct.
And it's easy to do.
Yep, just unscrew them and you're done.
And this is the way the door is going to look when it comes from the plant. It'll have these tags on it.
Inspection tags on it.
And what's this here, Bruce?
That is general maintenance item kind of thing, just common sense things to look at every.
And that's how it's attached. That's how
Correct.
you're going to see it coming from the plant.
The door, there's an envelope that has wiring diagrams. This is just your standard wiring diagram. Diagram for the light strips, air control, anything that's not normal would be on the door. Electrical wiring diagram type would be in there like that.
What about a little love note from the family of Jamison? Will one of those be in there?
No, just the tag saying we made it with pride.
Okay, and who signs this, Bruce?
The mechanic working on the door and the inspector checking the door.
You ever sign these?
Yes.
Sometimes Bruce Newman's signature will be on these. And we check every door before it leaves, right?
Correct. All the frost stop doors are high potted to make sure there's continuity and there's no shorts in it. And the power units are also that way.
Now the other thing, when you and I went through the plant this morning, we manufacture all that ourselves, correct?
Yes. We buy the components and make it put it together.
So one of our team at our other manufacturing facility in Hagerstown actually puts it together and tests it, and you and I saw all the different testing this morning. Bruce, does that about wrap it up?
That's about it.
I want to thank you very much for the time today. Thanks to Bruce. Thanks to Courtney, who is our editor and director. Heads up our marketing department. She's going to put this all together. Thanks for joining us today. As we move forward in the Jamison family of products, we're at our manufacturing facility here in Lexington, Pennsylvania. We're going to have more videos that we're going to be doing, so you're going to see more of them. Again, thanks for your time today. We hope this has been helpful, and please connect with Courtney any feedback that you have. Thanks.